Hey, Ken Rohla here at freshandalive.com. I get a lot of questions about what to eat for breakfast, and particularly how do I get my protein, which there's a lot of different ways to get your protein, but here is a quick and dirty way of getting protein in the morning, getting something that's filling and that tastes good, especially in the wintertime. If it's cold outside, if you live in a cold climate, I'm very lucky. I live here in Florida where it's pretty warm in the winter, usually. But if you live in the Great White North, it truly is, it can be a challenge to stay warm on a raw food diet in the middle of the winter time. And so this is a very nice warming food that you can do. And it's simply chia nut milk. It's very simple. You make nut milk, you mix it with some chia, a little flavoring. The chia will gel up, and it has just a really nice, wonderful texture. It's very soothing, it's very filling. The protein will hold you for several hours till your lunchtime at least, and it tastes great. So it's a really nice thing to have for breakfast. It's a really nice thing to have in the morning, especially on those cold winter mornings. And it's really simple. There are a couple of ways you can do this. The way I like to do it normally is to make almond nut milk, and there are recipes for that online. You can see it in my workshops and my recipes books and things. But just go online and search for an almond milk recipe. It's very simple to make. Basically just blend a bunch of almonds, mix it with water, and strain it out. But if you don't have time to do that, or you don't have any made, you can get a protein powder. And particularly for this type of drink, I like to use Sun Warrior protein powder because it has good food combining in it. A lot of these protein powders mix fruit and nuts, which is really bad because it ferments in your guts, and that feeds parasites and pathogens, bacteria, viruses, all kinds of stuff. So it's just not a good idea. This protein powder is sweetened with stevia, and so it tastes good. You can get vanilla flavored. I don't recommend getting chocolate flavored unless you want to get a buzz, because it will excite your glands and it will wake you up, and it's not particularly good for you. So vanilla or plain. I prefer vanilla, and I just take a couple of scoops of that and some chia seed, which we've got right here. And you can also add cinnamon. This is some really wonderful Ceylon cinnamon. Cinnamon from Ceylon. You can get it at mountainroseherbs.com. I don't have any affiliation with them, but they have really good, really inexpensive organic herbs and spices. I think this whole jar of this cinnamon was like $7. I mean, it's like a quart for $7. It's cheap. And then I also sometimes will throw in vanilla bean powder. I actually got this at a local health food store because it's a really, really good quality. It smells heavenly. You can find vanilla bean powder online if you Google it. Naturalzing.com sells it, but lately some of the vanilla bean powder I've been getting from them is not that good. You can tell if it's good vanilla bean powder because it'll be real dark and it'll have a really strong smell. If it's kind of cocoa colored or lighter brown colored, it's probably not very good. You want really almost black with a good smell. And then the other thing I will put in here to sweeten it is either vanilla flavored stevia, this is Sweet Leaf brand, or English toffee flavored, which is freaking awesome, dude, or cinnamon flavor. And so here's the recipe. It's really simple. Let's see here. I got a spoon in here, a couple of tablespoons, and this is a tablespoon to me. Okay, just a heaping tablespoon of protein powder. And actually, I should have put the water in first. So we'll see if it gets lumpy. Oh well. But usually I put the water in first. So I'll go ahead and put some water in here. I'll fill it about halfway up. And then after I put the protein powder in, I'll shake it up just to get it mixed really well before I add the chia, because you don't want it getting all globby with the chia. The chia will start gluing up. It'll start getting mucilaginous and gluey and thickening things up, which gives it a really nice creamy texture, and it gives you kind of a, it gives you more of a, almost like a chowder texture that's really nice. Okay, so that mixes up pretty easily. And I'm going to throw some more of this in here. You can just do it by taste. This particular protein powder, and protein powders in general, they're kind of grainy. So if you make your own almond milk, it's going to be much nicer. It's going to be much smoother. And you can make almond milk, you know, that'll last 5-6 days in the fridge. Just make a big batch of it, keep it in the fridge. And then in the wintertime, when it's cold, you can warm it up either by, after you mix it up like this, you can stick it in a sink full of warm water, or you can stick it in a dehydrator, and it'll heat up in about 10 minutes. Doesn't take long, and then you have this really, really wonderful, warm, creamy, delicious drink. All right, so we got some protein powder in there. It's shaken up well. I'll go ahead and add the spices next. So we got cinnamon, and this is about maybe 24 ounces here. So I'll put about maybe half a teaspoon of cinnamon in there. And that's really good cinnamon. I'm not going to put the vanilla bean powder in there. You can, but I prefer not to. I just flavor it with the vanilla stevia or the toffee stevia. I think this time I'll go with vanilla. And since this protein powder already has stevia in it, it's already sweet, you don't need to add a whole lot of this. Maybe just 5 or 6 drops, just to give it some of that vanilla flavor. If you're using almond milk that you haven't sweetened, you might use 10 or 15 drops. And really, I don't need to shake it again. So I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of chia. So, you know, a quart mason jar works fine for this too. Put it all in together, close it up good, and then just shake it up. And so it's all mixed up. It's pretty easy. And let it sit about 10-15 minutes, and the chia will absorb the water. It'll start thickening, and it'll kind of get texture like tapioca. And mixed in with that fluid, it'll just give it a really wonderful, wonderful texture and flavor. Another interesting thing you can do with chia, while I'm thinking about it, you can make lemonade. You know, fresh squeezed lemonade. Just take good spring water, which, by the way, is what we're using. This is good alkaline spring water. And you can make something called chia lemonade or chia limonada, which is very popular in South America and Mexico. Just make lemonade, fresh squeeze some lemons and limes, sweeten it with some stevia, get it to where you like the flavor of it. You can add mint in there if you want to, fresh mint, wonderful, crush it up, throw it in there. And then add some chia to it, and you can add quite a bit. You know, if you've got, let's say, a pitcher like this full of lemonade, you could put a half cup of chia in there, and then just stir it up, and stir it every now and then so it doesn't clump up. And what will happen is that chia will absorb the liquid, and it'll turn into almost like fish eggs floating around it. It'll be like little discrete particles of chia with all the gel around them, and it's just a really wonderful cooling drink. And it's also very filling, so if it's in the summertime and it's hot in the morning or in the afternoon, whenever, and you want a drink that's nice and cooling and it has protein in it that'll fill you, chia limonada, really wonderful way to use chia as well. But for breakfast, especially in the wintertime, chia nut milk, simple, quick. You know, I'm sitting here jibber jabbering, but normally in the morning when I do this, it takes me all of about 3 minutes to make this. You know, flum, 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 shake, shake, shake. Let it sit 10 minutes, shake it again, and drink it. Whew, out the door. Really quick and easy. So anyway, try it out, enjoy it.